Joining us now over the phone, Frankfort head baseball coach, Mr. Travis Triem. Travis, happy Wednesday. I know the season started on Monday. You still got some kids playing basketball right now, but all in all, how are we doing so far?
Man, it's looking good. I had a really good turnout this winter with 4-man workouts, so that's always good to see a bunch of kids showing up there on, non-mandatory days. And, we've had 2 full practices in the books, and, they're working hard and looking pretty good. We're missing a few, obviously, for basketball still, but rooting for those guys to do well, and just looking forward to getting the full team to see kind of what we're at.
So talk to me about what this squad's going to look like. I know you graduated Blake Miller and Griffin Anderson. Who else did you guys lose, and who are you excited to see come back?
Well, we also lost Cameron Lewis. We lost Ryan Wickup. We lost like 6 starters last year. So, we had pretty heavy senior loaded team. But we got a lot of starters returning. Logan Lewis obviously has been a starter for me for the last 2 years, and he'll be the ace of the squad and starting third baseman, and he's looking really strong. Fletcher Anderson's been the starting catcher for me for the last 2 years as he's a junior this year. He's looking really strong. And then we got a lot of young guys that are going to get a good opportunity as freshmen that are just real athletic kids, real baseball-minded kids, and they're seeming to grasp what we're teaching them right away, which is always a plus. Our team overall, we're pretty solid, top 9. I can't think of really a weak link, which is always good as a coach. Everybody knows the game and is putting in the effort and capable of having great years.
You mentioned Logan Lewis, and I got a chance to watch him pitch last year through a no-hitter during the tournament you guys had back in April, but he also just signed with Olivet College to play baseball. How nice is it to have a guy that, you're starting third baseman, you're quote-unquote ace, not have to worry about college, just focus on having fun and enjoying this season?
Man, it's huge. Coming from my perspective, I got the opportunity to play college baseball, and I signed with Navarro College after my junior year. So my senior year was stress free. It's just play baseball, have fun, and man, it makes a huge difference. Especially for a guy like Logan, his goal was to have an opportunity to play college baseball, and I'm super excited that he's getting that opportunity, and you can see a little stress release off of him, and he's looking strong. He's our team captain, one of our team captains, and obviously a leader on the field, and I'm thankful to be able to coach him.
Travis, I wanted to kind of get into a bit of a different question for maybe people out there that find baseball slow, or players seem to be standing around quite a bit during games and whatnot. And I was a baseball player myself and grew up with it. That was my dad and I's sport. And so just to kind of ask you, what's strength training like for baseball? What's conditioning like? What kind of shape do you like to see the kids come in as, come April?
Well, for me, I'm heavy on that. The way I was coached by old school guys and phenomenal Hall of Fame coaches. So, we're real heavy on the weight room. We're real heavy on conditioning. My guys know once they play for me for a year, they know we run every day. That's just what we do. It's a long season. You play a lot of games in a short period of time and a lot of doubleheaders, obviously. And, to me, conditioning is huge. If you can stay strong and stay, in shape and able to keep the running in, it's just going to make you that much better at the end of the year when it actually really counts. Our focus is that. We implement that from the start, and that's how it's been since I took over this program, and that's the only way I know. So I think it's very important.
You brought up Logan Lewis, obviously. You guys as an ace and, starting there at the top of that pitching lineup, and then it'll fill itself out there. But I wanted to ask you, because you watch baseball at the professional level or the college level, and pitchers can, sometimes can be a delicate thing. And so, how do you work on that rotation? How do you round that out? And then how do you approach your pitchers mentally, and what frame of mind do you like to see them in?
Well, for us, we got a lot of guys that can pitch. We probably have 8 or 9 guys on the team that can pitch, which is great for such a for such a small school. And I mean, we only have about 12 kids overall. So, they're all going to get an opportunity. I mean, my goal as a coach is, I don't want to burn anyone out. I don't want to overuse anyone. I want them all to be fresh, because anyone that's played baseball or been a part of it or even watched it enough knows that, I mean, you never know what's going to happen in a game, if someone's going to get hurt or if someone just doesn't have the right stuff. So, I have these guys mentally prepare that no matter what situation we're in, who we're playing, what the score is, be ready to go in and play. And if it's being on the field as a pitcher or a pinch runner or whatever that situation is, we stress it, constantly. Me and my assistant coaches stress it constantly. You have to be mentally prepared. Even if you're sitting in the dugout thinking you're not going to get in that day, things can change really quick in baseball, as you know.
So I think I talked with Frankfort golf coach Steve Hammond yesterday, and he mentioned Rocco Anholt being a two-sport player for Frankfort, obviously. From a baseball approach, how do you make sure his eyes, his hands stay consistent with baseball and not trying to swing like he would a pitching wedge when there's a pitch in the dirt?
That's a tough one, Mitch. With Rocco, it hasn't been hard because that's one of the smartest kids on the field. On and off the field, I mean, and he's such a hard worker. Baseball is his number one sport, so he's with me mostly. Being such a small school like Frankfort, I mean, we push dual sport athletes just because we have to. Coming from the school that I came from, it was a totally different situation. But, with Rocco, it really hasn't been difficult. I mean, his baseball swing is not faulted whatsoever. I mean, he had a great year last year for me as a junior, and I have a lot of expectations for Rocco this year. He's one of my main utility guys. I mean, I can put him literally everywhere, and when I mean everywhere, I mean every 9 position I could put Rocco at, and he could play and do a good job for us. So, it is a tough juggling act at times, but since his primary sport is baseball, he's with me most of the time, so it really hasn't been a big factor for us.
Travis, I wanted to kind of get into expectations a bit, and last year you guys were right there in a very heated battle that I was able to be in attendance for against Bear Lake in that district opener. Obviously things go the way that they do, but you guys were right there in the game the entire time. And just kind of seeing where this team is now and where you're expecting them to go this year.
I expect us to compete every day. It's the last couple of years before I kind of had, good idea where we're going to stand and how it's going to turn out. I knew we'd be right there with it, and it's anybody's ball game when it comes to those playoffs. I have no different expectations for these guys. I think if they come out and they play like I know they're capable of playing, and they make just the routine plays and eliminate the middle mistakes, we're going to be scrappy. I mean, we got a bunch of kids on the team that they like winning, they like competing, and I like coaching them. I mean, it's it's hard to say. I mean, we could surprise some folks, that's for sure.
Last question I ask you about. You mentioned Fletcher Anderson at catcher. I had a chance to watch him play football. It's both a running back and a linebacker. My goodness, I've watched him do that. Got to watch him as a wrestler this year. Great at that. He seems like a guy with a really high motor, pretty intense guy. How are you able to use that as a strength in the baseball sport that requires a lot of mental duration?
Well, we've just worked with him a lot, to be honest with him. I mean, when he started with me as a freshman, I mean, he got the opportunity to play behind a senior, but he got the split time, so he would catch a game and then DH a game. So he gained a lot of experience early, especially starting his freshman year. Then his sophomore year, he was our number one starter. He pretty much caught, I'd say, 98% of the games last year. And just with that playing time and that experience, he's matured a lot. I mean, I see such a maturity level in him this year. I got high expectations for that kid. I mean, he is such an athlete, and I don't think he even knows how great of a baseball player he could be. He's real easy. He doesn't overthink it too much. He just goes out there and hits the baseball hard and makes sure the ball doesn't get behind him, and I love it.
Well, Travis, we appreciate you taking time out of a Wednesday to speak with us. Best luck to you this season.
Hey, thank you, guys. We appreciate it.